Hello, this is Lucas again, and in this video I'm going to show you how to start your Rails project. Add it to Git, push the initial version to Heroku, and do all the preparation. So, given that you watched all the other videos about how to set up Heroku account, how to set up Bitbucket, and how to set up Ruby on Rails, you should be ready. If you haven't, please watch those videos first. And now we're going to create a new project. So let's see where we are. And I'll go to our documents. So I cd into documents. Okay, so you're here in documents. So I want to go to our Rails course folder. So cd. Yeah. Okay, we're inside. So we have a couple applications here. So let's create a new one. We call it. Well, People Can Code is a good name actually. So let me go and delete that first, so we know that we can actually use the same name. So I'll actually do both of them. Okay. And let's go ls again. Oh, sorry, ls. You see there's nothing in it, so we're just gonna create Rails new People Can Code. And that's gonna be a name of our application. It's gonna appear in, across the application multiple places. So it's a good time to pick the right name. Changing it later down the track might be cumbersome. It's possible, but it may be quite difficult. So just pick your name now, and knowing that that's going to be the name of your application. Changing it, as I said, might require some work. So let's start by doing that, and the bumper will install all the dependencies now, and the application will be ready to run. So let's give it a second. And we're ready. It always takes a couple of seconds to do this. So if we check what's in the folder, we have a new folder called People Can Code. That's the name of our new application. So let's cd into that. Okay, and we have a whole bunch of stuff. So to start everything, let's make sure it works. Okay, so because at this point it should already work. So let's run our Rails server. It appears that it's running. So let's open our localhost port 3000, because this is where it's running. And you see the server already doing some work. So it's logging it here. And there we go. We have fully functional, very simple, doesn't really do much except for displaying this page, application built in Rails. That's great. So we probably want to start our project in commit to source code repository, so we can keep track of all the changes. So let's do that. So let's start with going to our Bitbucket account and logging it using the credentials that we have chosen before. Okay, and it logged me in automatically as not the right user. So let's log out and log in. Okay, and we used it. We set info at stormycloud.net. Okay, we are in. So it was the right one. So let's create a new repository. Let's call it People Can Code Shanghai. Let's just call it People Can Code. Nothing to be changed here. It's going to be Git, and we're going to say it's going to be Ruby mostly. Okay, let's create that. Okay, so we have a choice. I'm starting from scratch and I have existing project to push. We're going to create new project. So let's go here and open new tab. So you can do it by Command T. It will keep you in the same folder. If it doesn't keep you in the same folder, you have to cd into that folder. Okay, so make sure you're inside that folder. And what we're going to do now is we're going to create new repository by typing git init and running it. And what you can see here now is initialize apt-get repository in this folder. That's great. So let's add some code, what we already have into that repository. We do that by typing git add dot. That will add everything, and you can always check status of your git of your changes by typing git status. So there's a lot of new files because we haven't commit them yet, right? So let's commit that to our repository. Git commit okay, that's it. Git status will give us nothing to commit. Everything has been checked in. Okay, so now we probably want to push it to our Bitbucket. So go back here and click I have an existing project to push. And this we don't need because we're already inside the folder, and this is cding into our folder. So let's just copy paste this. This is direct link to our repository, and we're gonna use SSH protocol. So you just make sure that you added your SSH key to your Bitbucket, and we're gonna paste that and run it. And that added the link to our repository. So now Git knows where to push. And we just copy this, git push origin all. So we're going to push everything to Git. And that may take a couple seconds. Oh, sorry, the authentication cannot be established. Okay, sometimes there is some issue because I need to run VPN. So let me see if that's going to help. Oh, sorry, that's just a warning. So okay, that's fine. So yes here. Yeah, okay, everything went just fine. Okay, we have a new branch, new master branch on our repository in the Bitbucket. So let's see, actually, you can already see it on the website. Okay, so pushed one commit to people can code. Yeah, so there is already, we can see the source code. Okay, everything is online, so other people can access it if you give them access, or you can access it from different computers. Okay, so let's go back here and let's make sure we can also run it on Heroku. So Heroku is our hosting service that's going to give us a lot of functionality without us having to configure anything. So let's add Heroku to our project. Okay, let me turn that off. It's going to be quite annoying if you don't do it. Okay, so maybe actually I'm going to turn it on. Heroku in China doesn't really work well. Very often you have to run VPN. And what I mean by it's a stealth VPN, so it's a real connection with the server. And this is the only reason why I'm actually paying for this VPN, is because I need to do it. I need to use it for Heroku. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's try a different server. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so let's add Heroku to our project. So we do it by typing Heroku, create, and the name of the application. So I call it people can code. And see if this has to be unique. So if somebody using Heroku already picked that name, it's not going to be available. So you may get an error here, and if you get an error, just try it with a different name. Let's try that. Okay, we have to put our credentials for Heroku. So we say that, you only need to do it once. And once Heroku connects with your account, your local tool belt will connect to Heroku, it's going to work. So okay, the name has to start with a letter. Okay, so I use unallowed characters. I cannot use underscore. I have to use dashes. So let's try that. Heroku create. Okay, awesome. So we have Heroku address, and we can already access our page at peoplecancode.herokuapp.com. It's not going to do anything, but let's try that. It's going to be empty. It's going to tell us that there is nothing there yet. So let's try that so you can see how that's going to change in a couple of seconds. Okay, Heroku, welcome to your new app, and there is nothing here. Okay. So let's add our new application to Heroku. So we do that by typing git push Heroku master. That's it. And sit back and wait. Okay, again, it's asking us to use the key. And that's going to take a couple of seconds because it has to install all the dependencies, and doing it for the first time really takes a while. But then when you make changes, it's much quicker. Okay, and this is a very interesting thing. Our push has been rejected. Okay, and the reason for that is that by default, Ruby on Rails is using database SQLite 3. So, and Heroku doesn't support SQLite. It only, well, by default, Heroku would ask us to use PostgreSQL. So let's fix that, because unless we change that, our application cannot be deployed. Okay, so let's open our project. I'll do it by going to RubyMine. I use RubyMine. I find it very, very useful and helpful type of IDE. And this one I actually bought, so and I encourage you to get something like RubyMine because it really helps a lot, and you can explore your source code much more efficiently. So let's open directory. Okay, I'll do that later. Okay, go here. Okay, great. So this is our project folder structure, and well, I haven't been using it on this computer for quite a while, so it's loading. Change the database type here so the application knows what to use for Heroku. So first of all, let's go to gem file where all our dependencies are listed. Okay, and you can see here this is our SQLite gem. So we're gonna create two groups depending on which environment we're using. Don't worry about if you don't know what the environment is. It's gonna become very obvious very, very soon. So we create a group, and we got group for test and for development. Okay. And we put our SQLite in that group. So when application is being run, it will know that for test and for development, and development meaning that when we run it on our machine here, not on the server, it will use SQLite 3. But if we run it in production, and that's the environment used by Heroku, we're going to use gem PG for Postgres. Okay, that's what we're going to use. Let's save that and go to our command line and run bundle install. That will load all the gems, all the dependencies, and our project will be ready to use new database. So it may take a while, like before. Okay, great. We are done here, but there is also one more thing we have to do, and that is update our configuration file for database configuration. So let's open config folder. And we go to our database YML file. And we have three different environments here, and three different databases will be created for our application. And the one that we are interested with is the production database. So we're going to change the adapter to Postgres instead of SQLite. And we'll change the database name to something that is, well, easier to read. Okay, and we're gonna change. Well, that's pretty much it. We just add the host, and we set it as local host. Okay, let's save that. And let's go back to our command line. And let's, first of all, we have to add all the changes to Git. So Git status. And we see we modified files. Okay, so we have to let our Heroku know that those things have been changed. So Git add Git commit. So change or PostgreSQL. Okay, save that. Git push, so we have everything on our remote repository, and git push Heroku master. Okay, so everything has been deployed successfully. Let's open our new page and make sure it works. So we can do it twofold. We can go directly to the address, just copy paste it in our browser, okay? Or we can just simply type Heroku open. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what's happening with our application by typing Heroku logs. Okay, so there is some errors here. First of all, there is no route that matches this address, which is quite puzzling because we didn't change anything. But let's go see how our routes file look like. Oh, okay. There is no route, so we have to create our route that actually takes us somewhere. But to do that, I'm gonna create a new controller. So let me actually very quickly do that. Going back to our bash and typing Rails generate controller, and we call this controller static pages. Okay, I'm gonna show you in next episode what the controller is and how it works, but let's very quickly make sure that our Heroku works. So create something where the route is pointing us to. Okay, that generated a whole bunch of files. So let's open our app folder, controllers, and we have a new file here. So let's add some actions to this controller. We call it home, and we have this end here, so it closes our action. Okay, so let's save that. Let's go to our routes file, and here we say for route, so when there is URL without any arguments, we go to static pages controller and the action named home. Okay, and because we created this action, the action will look into views folder and it will try to find the HTML document, HTML template with the same name. I'll explain everything in the next episode, so don't worry if something doesn't seem to be clear, but we just create a new file here. Okay, save that. And if we go back to our localhost 3000, you will see now that the page is different. It should give us empty page. Let's make sure it works. Okay, great. So now there is nothing in the empty page because what we created here has no content. But let's put at least some h1 tags. Say this is the home page, and save that and go back, refresh, and there we have, this is our home page. So let's add that to our Git. So git add git commit static pages com. Okay, git push, and then git push Heroku master, and that should save the problem, the issue we had before with missing route. Great, so let's type Heroku open to see if our application works on Heroku properly. And it does. So this is on the internet, and you can, when you watch this, you can If you watch this very shortly after I've done it and there is no changes, you can probably see this to be exactly the same. We're gonna expand this application, so down the track this will change significantly. So you won't see this is the home page and content, you'll see something else. But by this time, if you do it for your page, it's gonna be exactly the same as localhost. So only the difference will be the address. Okay, thank you very much for this episode. In the next one, I'm going to show you how to create the first proper controller and to do some home pages or some static pages, just like we did for our HTML tutorial. But this time it's going to be much more interesting. Okay, thank you very much and have a good day.